Welcome to another episode of the Cyber Culture Cafe podcast, where John and Andy will introduce you to another fascinating member of the eSentire family. Welcome, Rob, to the podcast. Please give us a brief introduction of where you are within the company, your current roles and responsibilities, and we'll start from there.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, guys. As noted, Rob Watson. I am the Senior Vice President of Security Services at eSentire. Mainly, that means that the Global Security Operations Center rolls up to me. So I've got the mandate for setting the vision and the targets and making sure we've got the technical and people aptitude to keep the SOC going. I've got a few other teams underneath me. I've got Support Center as well that recently fell into my purview, and our Incident Response team also is in my domain.
I don't know how you have the time to do all that, to be honest with you. I mean, that's a lot. Just managing the SOC, even just the North American SOC. But now you have both of them you have to take care of.
Yeah, it's why it took me so long to get on your podcast. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot of stuff to go on. I mean, it's, thinking about the people that you have underneath you and what you're doing all the time. I mean, it's not. To me, it sounds like it could be a shit show sometimes, for sure. I don't know if it would be a fun job to have.
It's a stressful job. I would say it's gotten better. I think we've made a lot of improvements that have made it, more fun than it used to be. But yeah, we've got a track record of some of my predecessors who haven't fared so well, right? And it's the SOC's on 24/7, and critical decisions are getting made every day that impact people's lives, right? So yeah, that takes a toll.
Yeah, how do you, we have so many questions. We want to talk about, our platform and the AI and all that stuff. But first, let's talk about the folks, right? So being a SOC analyst, it takes a special individual. I always tell partners when we're talking to partners and even some customers, look, it's not just a normal job. It takes a special individual to be a SOC analyst. And we had a training session one time, and I use this analogy where I said it's like a cross between like an air traffic controller, like a gamer. It takes, a special person to see that needle in the haystack. And I have to tell you, when I first started, I've been here 7 years now. I came here and I sat in the SOC the first year I was here. And I got to tell you, I've been doing this stuff since Novell 2.51. I mean, back in early 90s, and doing different structure, infrastructure, and then moving to security. I really thought I knew what the hell I was doing, to be honest with you. And then I sat with those SOC analysts and those folks looking at, events that are happening in a packet capture and on an endpoint. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't see what you're looking at. And they can actually see, and I use this analogy too, the needle in the haystack. And that's exactly what it is. Because it's like, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, I have no idea. I really have no idea what you're talking about. It's impossible sometimes. I don't know. Now, let me ask you this. In your previous life, were you a SOC analyst before you became VP?
No, okay. No. If you want me to give you the background, it's a bit of a strange path that brought me here, but
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in technology. I remember, being 4 years old, my brother showing me how to type the command line to get games running in my Commodore 64. Right. So, but I went to school originally for sales and marketing and pivoted out into electronics. So I was selling electronics for a while, car audio particularly. So I was like at one point, the top 10 Alpine car sales guy in Canada. So it was, kind of cool job back in the day, and a crazy
7909s.
Yeah, my ears still don't work as well as they should from that job. But anyway, worked there for a few years, and I had a friend of mine convince me to start a dealership with him. He was in selling used cars. He had some experience.
Get out of here.
So I was young, was like, cool, let's try something new. So we did that. We started our own dealership, and it was going really well for about a year or so until 2008 hit. And the economy went, tanked. Nobody was buying cars. We had lenders that were using to purchase vehicles, like on lines of credit. And they were like, we're getting out of this business.
Yeah.
You don't have money to buy cars. You can't sell cars. So we wound down the business. And I actually went back to school, took network and administration, engineering and design, thinking back to my roots of like, I've always been interested in tech. Why don't I try and pivot into that? So I did a course in that, came out, and had to do some volunteer work to get my name, find some experience. So I did some local school boards, volunteered helping them out. Eventually got a job at a law firm doing tech support. which was an interesting ride, but wasn't there for very long before there was a place called Sandvine I'd really wanted to work at. They're a local company here in Waterloo, made hardware and software for managing large networks like Comcast, Verizon, those kind of providers, right? Yeah, that was a really cool job. Worked there for a while on the customer advocacy team, doing support for global customer base. And my boss there actually ended up coming to this place called eSentire, a little startup at the time, 30 people company in Cambridge that nobody had ever heard of, and managed to convince me to take a jump and come with them. And I'd always been interested in security right from when I went back to that network administration design course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was cool. And I came in, been here for 13 years, worn many different hats. In the early days, we were 30 people. So, I was a sales guy, a customer advocate, a PS guy. I was doing everything all at once. And, so it's been a wild ride. I spent a good few years here building out the PS team, the blue team, and our VCSO, red team, professional services, all of that. And about 5 years ago, stepped into the role, taking over the global security operations and a few other adjacent teams.
And that is some ride, my friend.
It's a strange path that brought me here, but I'm very happy that it did. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think things happen for a reason, for sure. I mean, absolutely. How do you? I mean, our tenure, first of all, in our SOC, and a lot of folks know this already, is a minimum of 6-7 years. I mean, you've been here 13, right? And you've been doing the SOC for 5. How do we keep those guys and gals excited about what they're doing? Obviously, to be a SOC analyst, they have to love it, first of all. Either you love it or you hate it, it's not for you. So they have to love what they're doing regardless. But how do we keep them motivated?
I mean, you hire the right people and it almost just happens naturally, right? But
right.
Like we look for inquisitive mindsets, and you can almost tell when you're doing an interview whether, even if they have the technical chops, whether or not they're going to be a good fit for it. But like the industry is changing so much so rapidly that they're kind of on the cutting edge. They're seeing new stuff happening that they've never seen before. They're seeing new tools come out that they're getting to use. So there's a lot of just innovation and excitement that keeps them kind of interested in it. And I think we've done a good job of putting things in place to give them, a clear progression path, clear learning paths that they can continuously grow. They're not just sitting in that chair doing the same thing day in, day out, going, I'm like a factory worker. Like they're learning new skills. We're progressing them very quickly through ranks. And as you know, the SOC has become even a feeder ground for our company there, where when we do have attrition, typically it's not externally, it's going into another role, like joining in the SE team or the Shrew team or engineering or whatever it may be. So yeah, they're often very self-motivated just by their hunger and their desire to kind of see these cool things. And like when you get involved in like a cool attack, like a nation state or something, or like, something where you're defending a hospital, there's a huge sense of pride that comes with that, right? And I try to hammer that home all the time that, it may just seem like you're doing a simple investigation, sending alert, shutting something down and moving on, but you might have just saved somebody. Like you might have just really like, so it's all of these things, the technology, the industry, the ways that we've enabled them and given them progression and made their life easier too. Like our platform helps with a lot of tedious, mundane tasks that would normally be really painful and make analysts just miserable. And we handle a lot of that for them so they can focus on investigations that are actually interesting, actually matter, rather than doing some, hey, somebody scanned you again, kind of nothing sort of work that is just tedious and repetitive, right? So
yeah, I love that. And I want to talk about the platform. So I know, we have our own, they talk about it all the time, our cloud native AI platform. We have over that 25 years of experience that we put into this platform, all the things that we're doing. Now, we're using all these new cool AI tools. Our platform's AI. I know we're making things easier for the SOC to investigate, taking all these different hours and bringing them down to minutes for them. Were they ever worried about, hey, you know what? AI is going to replace my job now, right? I mean, let's be honest. It's not, I can sit there and I can't do what they do, but I can look up something using AI and be like, oh, shit, there's the answer, right? I mean, hey, I can do it. So were they worried? Were they like, oh man, AI is going to change my role. It's going to replace me.
Definitely. No, they really were. I spent like it came on so fast that there was a lot of, we had them working with the models and helping train and provide feedback. And we had some comments from them saying like, am I training myself out of the job? Like, should I even be doing this? I don't want to participate. Like there was a lot of fear in that early days. And then, when they started to play around with it and understand like what it's good at, what it isn't, how we're trying to use it in our strategy, all of that's eroded now. And I don't see anybody having any more fear of that. Now the analysts are excited. They want to work with it. They want to find ways to utilize it in their day to day, and like, make it a tool for them, right?
Right. Right.
There was an example someone gave of a math problem. When a calculator was invented, you didn't stop doing math. You still needed a human to operate it, right? So, but you take a look at, hey, I've got a math problem, and one guy's got a pen and a paper, and they're going to do long division, whereas the other one's going to use the tool and the calculator to get the job done. Who's going to get it done faster and probably more accurate, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
they're starting to see it that way as a tool. Right. They're seeing it more as another tool in their belt that they can use, and a really cool new tool, right? Versus something that is going to, replace them or take them out of the job.
But I guess this is the challenge as well. I mean, what they've probably now discovered is what they're doing by virtue of how we've encouraged and grown these analysts is they build the cutting edge stuff that the AI is replicating fast behind them, but they still have to keep training that engine.
Absolutely.
Are you finding that with the engines doing more work, the analysts aren't exercising their muscles? Is there any dip off of their capabilities because there's more of a reliance on the AI to do the work? How are we keeping that balance to keep that engine fed?
So the way we've implemented it right now, I mean, we've got AI all over the place. So some of them are simple tools like helping with drafting your alert. Maybe it provides a summary from what it's seen, and you just don't have to write everything all out. You can just make some edits and some things. So that's really easy. But the tools themselves, like the way we've implemented is a trust but verify model. So the AI is preventing a theory. It's like, hey, here's what I think has happened, and here's the reasons and the evidence. The analyst then has to dissect that and basically say, like, let me look at your evidence. Let me review that. Do I agree with it? Yes or no? And if you agree with it, great, move on. If not, well, then you're back to proving, looking for another theory or what may be going on. So we've put it in a way where it's a second set of eyes for them. It's another opinion, but they are still in control. They're still the person making those decisions. They still have to have the technical skills. And it's something we worry about in hiring now too, is we've got to make sure that the people who are coming in still understand the base fundamentals. You can't rely on tools, right? So, take away all the tools, show me what you can do. Okay, cool. Now you can do it without the tools. Here, use the tool. It's okay now,
Love
right?
That's awesome.
Is there a risk? Sorry, John. Is there a risk there then that we're increasing the workloads for the analysts because they're having to double check somebody else's homework?
No. So right now, I mean, they'd start from scratch. They'd have nothing. They'd have to look at it, start reviewing data and evidence, and come up with their own theory, and then use investigative skills to prove that theory. It's giving them a starting point. It's giving them different evidence, different data points, different ideas of what it may be. So they're kind of starting on first base a little bit. They've got a little bit of a leg up in terms of the work that needs to get done. Some of our next iterations are actually making it much easier for them to verify that work as well. So kind of more interactive and being able to kind of hot link into some of the data or see the query that was run. So that's going to make it really easy for them to validate that as well. But as of right now, I would say it hasn't actually made us faster, but it's made us a lot better. We're seeing kind of more consistent, more consistent alerts, better descriptions in them. We're seeing a higher confidence rate in coming to a conclusion. So sometimes an analyst might send a suspicious alert because they're like, you know what? I'm not sure that it's bad, but I'm just not comfortable letting it go. So I'm going to alert the customer and just double check, right? And we're seeing less of that as they're getting more confident what they're seeing and being able to dig into that and going, no, either this is really bad or no, I don't need to let them know. And on the flip side, we're seeing the conclusive rate go up. So suspicious rates down, conclusive rate going up. It's giving them confidence. It's like having that buddy you could tap and look over your shoulder and say, what do you think about this? Right. So,
yeah. That's the one thing I do remember being in the SOC. It's everybody was working together. I mean, it was a room. It looked like something in the movies. And the one thing I do got to say, I love that, first of all, we still interact with everything that we ingest. We still interact with all the different alerts coming in. We don't allow just the AI to do everything for us. Andy and I were talking about this the one day. The AI is obviously helping us cut down hours and hours of work, but it still doesn't get the gut feeling like a human being, right? So the human being, I love that we still interact. And I've heard folks say, hey, I got this new offer from one of your competitors. They're pure AI. I'm like, well, you really want to have AI do everything for you like that? How do you know? You're going to rely on a machine to make that decision for you where you're not inputting any thought into that. I don't agree with. I love that we still do that and interact with the stuff.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing tool, and I think it's going to continue to grow. But yeah, I mean, we've all seen AI hallucinate. You've all seen it just tell you something crazy. You're like, what? Where did you get that from? Right? Yeah. So it's not at a point, and we're very much firm in the belief of humans in the loop, right? That it's going to be, again, a tool in their belt that they can use to do their work more efficiently and at a higher quality, but they're still going to be the ones that are in charge, that are running that, right? So.
Yeah. And it's funny because Andy and I were talking about this, and we have different tools that we were playing with, and he's been doing a lot of work with the different tools. So if you look at ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot, some of these other ones, they all give you different answers. And Andy said it to me. He said, what it's doing now, it's remembering what you are looking up, and it's giving you the answer that you want.
I've actually seen that.
So that's like,
it was scary, the bias that was in it. I was like,
right.
What?
But I used that same question. I would ask in different tools, and they would almost give me different answers. Almost the same answer, but they were different in a lot of ways where it makes you think a little bit differently. I'm like, well, all right, well, that looks different. Let me look at that. So, I mean, you're right. They're tools and they're great. And I think they're going to get better, but human being, you still need that human being in the loop. I hands down.
There's two questions for me that come out of that. We can go off on a tangent if we want to.
You'll go off on a tangent.
There's two good questions now. Obviously, Rob, and you've talked about what happens to a SOC analyst once he's here, and I'd like you to drill into your mechanisms for bringing a SOC analyst in. What makes that the right sort of inquisitive person become an analyst or get offered the potential to become an analyst? Knowing what you know now, based on how things have changed over the last year, 18 months, with this enhanced machine learning, AI, whatever we're calling it this week, would you have selected the AI analyst to come on board to become a SOC analyst in the team? And would you change your onboarding process for your analysts based on how you're now having to onboard the AI analyst?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
I think the answer is no. I mean, again, because I go back to, you have to understand how things fundamentally work so that when the AI breaks or it does something strange, you can identify that. Otherwise, what value you're adding, right? So,
correct.
We really need to, I go back to it, we do this on the IR team too. There's a lot of tools you can use in IR that really simplify the job for you, but we want to see what you can do with just PowerShell, no tools. Go into PowerShell and show them what you can do. Because I need to understand that without the tools, the basics, you can get down to that level and prove that you know how it works and do the job. And once you've done that, sure, use all the tools. And it's the same thing with the analysts. We're still putting them through quite the ringer of showing they can apply practical knowledge. Now, the other thing is we almost never hire externally for analysts, like for a senior position. We like to build our own here. We've just found that when we bring an analyst from somewhere else and they're like a senior, it's like, well, they've worked with Splunk for all their life and nothing else. And like we're just, what we're doing here is a little bit different, and the tool set we use is different. So we build our own analysts. So one of the main ways we do that is partner with educational institutions to get co-op and intern programs, get them, and then you get a little bit of a try before you buy feel. You bring people in their last year, you can see how they're doing, you can see if they have that inquisitive mind yet. You can see, like, some of the two co-ops we have now are great. Like they're loving AI and digging into it and providing feedback. Hey, it did something weird here. Have you seen this? And so I can tell that these two already are people that we're going to want to be making offers to and bringing on board, because they're just demonstrating and showing that passion and that inquisitive, a little thread. I'm going to pull on that. I'm going to keep pulling until I figure out what's going on. So
that's awesome.
I don't think it changes how we're going to go about hiring just yet. I mean, other than being careful about, making sure people aren't, faking it a little bit, and that they aren't, using these tools as part of interviews to answer questions. We've got ways around that to put them into little lab environments and make them show us what they can really do. Right. But we'll see what happens in the future, because this changes every few months with AI. But
So basically the AI analyst isn't inquisitive enough yet for you to intern them.
No, and I'm not going to go into to details, but I mean, we've been doing testing and red teaming, and like there's ways to trick them, right? And that's the other thing, is that all these advancements, we're using AI for good. Well, the bad guys are doing the cyber arms race on the other side and figuring out how to use it all for bad, right? So, we're going to come to a point where they're figuring out how to attack LLMs and how to fool them into a false sense of security and things. And that's, again, where the analysts need to be able to spot something that's not right and go, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. That's scary.
Yes.
That's a scary job,
Well,
because
that's where prompt injection is a real thing, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, you really got to know what you're doing. I love that we do that with the educational, space, and bring those folks on and stuff. Because I mean, you might have someone that's like, "Hey, look, I want to be a SOC analyst," and when they get here, they're like, "No, it's not for me.
And we
I
got that.
can't do that. Yeah,
Yep.
I got to do
Yep.
something else." So I love that we do that, and we groom our own SOC analysts and have them work and look at many different things. Like you said, you have to bring on the guy who maybe likes, or a guy or girl likes Splunk, and Splunk is a totally different ballgame. That was one of the first security tools I've used, and I got to tell you, that shit wasn't for me. I was like,
I'm
I
not
don't want to
knocking
be
Splunk. I'm just saying, like, sometimes we'd see that very narrow skill set of like a senior analyst,
Right.
and it's like, well, it's sort of not quite what we consider to be
Not
a
the
senior
same.
analyst here, right? Yeah.
Yes, totally different. So I love that, we do that. Now, all the advancements we made within our platform and all the AI that we use and we train and we do all this stuff on our platform, are how are the SOC analysts feeling about the Insight portal, moving a lot of the SOC stuff into the Insight portal to let customers see exactly what they're doing as they're doing it? Are they cool with that stuff, or are they like, no shit, I want to keep this stuff on the side? I don't even.
Anytime you put a magnifying glass or a spotlight on people, there's always a little bit of a discomfort.
Right.
But no, we started this long ago, saying, it was probably 2 years ago, we started saying, hey, look, like we're going to start to be more transparent. We want to show our work. And honestly, showing our work is like, it's bragging. Like there's so much work we do that clients don't see. Because if we don't, if it's a benign investigation, we don't send them anything. But we may have put a whole ton of work into digging around and then taking filtering actions or whatever, tweaking rules and detections and so on. So it's interesting, but
yeah, I bet. So I know that they're making new headway with bringing more and more into the Insight portal for customers to see, and maybe you're going to have those IT teams. And I can tell you, in my previous life, being in IT, on some of those IT teams, you want to have those dashboards and things. Okay, here's what's going on. I know these guys got my back, and here's what I need to do. It makes their job a little bit easier, right? But the more visibility we're giving, are there some SOC analysts that are like, hey, I don't want to, I don't like that?
As I said, like we started telling them long ago, like, hey, anything you're putting in your tickets and your case notes and so on is going to be a customer facing thing.
Right.
And honestly, transparency goes a long way. It avoids, customers coming back asking questions because you've left something out, right? Saying like, hey, did you check this? Oh yeah, I did. I just forgot, so they've kind of realized that the more we share and communicate and be transparent, the less work comes back to us asking for follow-ups or questions or uncertainty. If you are really, really clear and tell them everything we did and give them that view into everything, all the notes, and they can see the work we did, gives them the warm and fuzzies. They're going, hey, I get it. I feel like you've covered all the bases. I don't need to worry about this, or I don't need to call in and ask questions to the SOC because, I didn't see a note that I was expecting to see or something like that. So they've started to embrace it more as a benefit, again, that it's going to cut down on work for them, and it's going to be overall, more meanandy.
Yeah, I can tell you, my wife, because my wife, she's a customer success manager. She talks more to the SOC analysts than Andy and I do. We don't talk to them really at all unless we have them on calls. But I mean, she gets stuff from the SOC analyst that she puts in a nice thing for the customer, and all the information is there. I mean, there's a lot of good communication now where, I don't know, maybe it wasn't like that in the past. I have no idea. But for her, it's like, okay, here's what the threat, here's what it is. And they break it down where it's simple for her to explain to them. And they're like, I got it. And here's all the evidence. Here's everything you need right here. And every time I've seen her on some calls where she's showing the folks, here's the new findings page, and here's all the new stuff you're going to see, they're like, nobody tells us this stuff. Every one of her customers that she's talking to, they don't have anybody else that shows all that stuff that we're showing them. Here it is. It's full, like you said, full transparency. And they're like, this is crazy. All this stuff is incredible to see. I mean, so I love that we're doing that. I'm glad the SOC analysts are embracing that stuff. That's awesome.
Well, and even like, so the great example you brought up there, we've used AI for a lot of internal cases like that. Like, we get a request from a customer success manager saying, hey, what was the timeline for this event? Or can you tell me what took place in this case, and where were the handoffs and so on? Analysts used to, go into the case and manually read it and then write up a timeline. Now we just put that through AI and say, so pull out the dates, the timelines and so on. It's an Atlas action built right into the platform. So actually the CSMs can go in and self-serve. They don't even need to come to the SOC anymore. They can get that pulled right out of it. We keep coming with more and more use cases. So that's where I said that the fear of, oh my God, it's going to replace my job has gone away to, oh, I don't have to do that tedious thing I didn't like doing anymore. And I can focus on something I do like doing. And that's really turned the tide to having them to be more of a onboard the AI ship, I guess I'll say.
So being, managing the SOCs and all those other teams you're doing, what the hell do you do to unwind and forget about all the crazy stuff that goes on every day? Because I'm sure there's not a day goes by that there's something going on that's like, oh my God, my head hurts already.
Yeah, the SOC's 24/7, right? So
absolutely.
when I go home, there's still stuff going on.
Right.
Middle of the night, still stuff going on. I've got 2 young girls, so they keep me pretty busy in my spare time with dance classes and swimming lessons and a lot of that. But when I can find time to just kind of have some me time, I'm a video gamer. Love to play video games.
Nice.
Put on some headset and sit in my basement and just play Xbox for a few hours.
Nice.
Or I like to do target shooting as well. So I'm not a hunter or anything of that sort, but I do like to go target shooting, go to the range, and same thing, headphones on. I'm only focused on what I'm doing. There's nothing else going on.
Nothing else
exactly me in that moment, and that lets me kind of just disconnect. Let loose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just blow shit up. I love that. I'm with you there. So,
bang, right?
So
probably didn't help my hearing issues though that I have from the sound systems when I was younger. It's maybe a poor choice of a hobby, but
what's your favorite game you like to play?
My favorite recently was probably Red Dead Redemption 2.
I know
those are cool. I know it's getting old now. I know it's been around for a while, but I mean that game was just so much fun. I got my dad into it, and my mom jokes that she was widowed to it for like 3 months while he played all day every day. Kind of, I think he's logged 500 hours in that game or something.
Awesome.
But yeah, it was really fun. I like the history of it. I like the open world. I like the just. Sometimes I go playing, start to do a mission, and I end up just like hunting and fishing and doing something in the virtual world. It was kind of wild. I heard
they were going to make a movie about that too. There was always those games that become movies and stuff. That'd be really cool. So what's your favorite movie? What kind of movies do you like to watch?
Oh, geez, favorite movie? I don't know. Maybe something old like Goodfellas or something. I don't know. I know that was always a classic for me when I was growing up. But lots of movies. Comedies, action, drama.
I love all movies too. I can watch all different things. I don't have a favorite one, but I could watch.
No, that one stands out, but I don't even know that would be my favorite. I love lots of stuff. And when Terminator 2 was always a classic.
Oh, yeah, that was a cool one. When I remember seeing that,
and it's kind of interesting thinking about when we're talking about AI and all the advancements. I bring up Terminator 2, but
right, the Terminator, right? Like son of a bitch, that'll never happen. It's happening today. Yeah, so that's awesome. Oh, no kidding. Cool.
I like to watch a lot of shows too. Like I have old ones. I'm taking my wife through The Wire now. She never watched it.
Yeah.
We're doing that rewatch, even though it's pretty old, but still holds up well. And I must have watched Sopranos like 3 times.
Oh God, yeah.
That's the best one ever.
Yeah, The Sopranos. That was a great show. Those were great shows. The Sopranos. I mean, I've seen The Goodfellas 100 times. I mean, I think one of my favorite movies I can probably tell you is probably The Godfather.
Oh yeah,
right. Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Godfather 3. I was like,
yeah.
Godfather 1 and 2
gets a little fallen off, but
they were great. I mean, classics. Those were great movies.
Did you ever see the first season of Westworld?
I watched, I think, the first 2 or 3 seasons before I fell off. But yeah, it was a really cool concept too.
That was a great show, and then it got weird. It got changed.
And then maybe when I fell off, it got a little weird at some point.
The second one got very weird, and it was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I did. I liked it. The first one was good. Yeah, the first season was really cool. Actually, the original Westworld movie was awesome with Yul Brynner. Way back in, I mean, there was that was in the 70s, but that was a cool movie.
I think it was a Michael Crichton book, wasn't it? The guy who wrote Jurassic Park, I thought.
Yeah. Okay, I think you're right. So. Yeah, great movie. Those were great. I mean, that was a cool story. I mean, I love Star Wars movies. You can watch all those every time it's not. My wife gets pissed off all the time we watch them. She's like, you watching this again? I'm like, come on. It's a classic. How could you not?
During the pandemic, I went through all of Star Trek: The Next Generation again. I went back and watched that whole series just because I grew up watching that. So,
have you ever? I mean, Star Trek. Star Trek's an obsession for mine. Have you ever seen what is the new one? The new story that they're doing at the moment,
Discovery,
Strange Worlds.
Strange World. That's on Paramount Plus.
Paramount. Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. No, I have not been up with the new ones. The last one I watched was Picard. Picard was really good. I like that.
Picard was okay. Yeah, but Strange Worlds is very interesting. I think
that's actually takes place way before,
third season, 4th season now. It's supposed to be before the original series.
Okay, before the first Enterprise one.
Yeah, but they're proper Star Trek stories, proper Star Trek canon. They have to reference the pieces. So Scotty gets introduced as a cadet almost.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Or an engineer on an outpost, and you can see hints of that character coming through, but the stories are way off the deep end. There was one the one that sticks in mind, and this will make you laugh. It might actually make you go and watch the seasons. They hit an anomaly in space. They try to talk to it. They try to send it messages. Nothing happens. So someone in their infinite wisdom says, send it some music. So they send it some Mozart. Fine. It bounces back and hits the ship, and this wave goes through the ship, and then they all start singing, and the whole episode is a musical. It is the maddest
Get the
thing,
hell out of here,
but it's
seriously?
in character and in canon, but it's a musical.
That's crazy.
Mental. It's just completely brilliant. Very, very funny.
What did you think of the remake of the movies? The movies were pretty good. The like Star Trek, the new one where they had the new
like Chris Pine or whatever.
Yeah,
was
Chris Pine.
Yeah. No, they were pretty good.
They were good, right?
mean,
They were good. I thought they were pretty. They did a really good job with characters. Yeah, those were cool. Yeah, so that's good. So you play the games, you go shoot and blow some stuff up.
Yeah,
awesome deal. That's a good deal. So you have 2 girls. How old are your kids? You don't mind me asking?
5 and 3. 5 and 3. So
they're young. That's a lot of work right there, boy. Woo. Oof.
Yeah.
And girls are tough. Girls are tougher than boys. That is
they're love them to death, but yeah, they're high energy too. So they keep me very busy. So
high energies for sure. Holy cow! Andy, you have 2 girls, yes?
2 girls, yes. 2 girls. 73 for Westworld, by the way.
The 1973, the movie. Yeah, you know, now you said the book. I should read the book. I bet you the book is better than the movies were.
Usually is. Yeah.
God, yeah.
So,
I read all those Harry Potter books. They were 10 times better than the movies. They were all great too. Andy, you have a library behind you. You have every book you go. Do you have Westworld?
Don't have Westworld.
What?
Not the book. No.
Now I gotta look it up. Now you're kidding.
For me, it was science fiction, but it was more of the weird stuff. I read a lot very early on. Is who was it? Piers Anthony.
Yes.
And Philip K. Dick, who's a complete lunatic. And I mean, I wouldn't read his stuff now finding out what a lunatic he actually is. And well, you may like his reading, his writing or not, but I read a lot of that only. But Piers Anthony and his very, very obscure worlds sort of caught my attention very early on. But now I read everything under the sun.
I almost exclusively read nonfiction. I'm a big history. So like World War II, World War I, Vietnam, Korea. I love reading about old military conflicts. It's just, I don't know why, but it fascinates me. So.
Yeah. Some of those things are amazing. I've seen a lot of shows on the military history military channel. It's a great channel.
What you might like then, Rob, is Jocko Willink. Have you listened to his podcast or any of he's been a guest on others. He's always quoting from military history books.
Yeah. No, I like him. Yeah.
He's got a huge list of stuff. If you want to read into that aspect, it's tremendous in that theme.
Yeah, I gotta find those Westwood books. I gotta look that up. Ooh, now I want to check it out. Yeah, so those were cool shows, good stuff, that stuff. So what Andy, I keep telling Andy this, he has a voice for audiobooks. I don't know what he's doing in here, but he has that voice. So you should read something right now for Rob. read something science fiction. Do you have something science fiction?
I don't have anything science fiction handy, but I do have something moderately historical.
Okay. All right, do that. Go ahead. Read a little
See if I want to subscribe to the audiobook.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. No way. I struggle to read this now, and I've been through it twice already. It's a little bit of a battle. So I'm going to apologize for the pronunciation to start with. So this is the Prose Edda, translated from the original Snorri Sturluson. I've probably butchered that, so I apologize.
Wait, so what historical thing is this?
This is the you can see that.
Yeah,
it's the Prose Edda, which is basically Norse mythology is based on. It's a vocal history that was eventually committed in about, I don't know, the 800s, 900s into text, because this has been going on for equally sort of thousands of years. This is the current translation where a couple of people have tried to make sense of it. So this is a little bit. I will not read too much of it, but I do enjoy it. So Gangleri asked, "What is there to tell about that place?" Then Justice High said, "The ash is the largest and the best of all trees. Its branches spread themselves all over the world, and it stands over the sky. 3 roots support the tree, and they are spread very far apart. One is among the Aesir. The second is among the frost giants, where Gunungagap once was. The third reaches down into Niflheim, and under the root is the well Hvergelmir. But Nidhogg gnaws at this root from below. Under the root that goes to the frost giants is the well of Mimir. Wisdom and intelligence are hidden there, and Mimir is the name of the well's owner. He is full of wisdom because he drinks of the well from the Gjallarhorn. Allfather went there and asked for one drink from the well, but he did not get this until he gave one of his eyes as a pledge."
So wait, where's Thor in this whole thing? Because that's all I know. I know Thor and shit in his hammer.
Thor,
right? He's one of the Avengers.
Thor is the Allfather's, one of the Allfather's sons.
Okay, so
the Allfather is Odin.
Odin. So how many sons did he have? There was Thor and there was Loki. Who else? Because that's all I know from Avengers. Was there more than one? More than two?
It's a little bit more complicated than that. Because some were created from twigs, some were created from leaves, some came out of the ground, some were stolen from other families.
What?
It's a very interesting read. It's a really tough read, but everyone has to pay for what they get. So Odin's request of wisdom of Mimir results in him having to pay his eye for just a glass of the water from the well.
Did you hear that reading though? Shouldn't he be recording these audiobooks?
You should reach out to Audible and be like, "Hey, I got a proposition for you here."
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Side gig for you, Andy.
Yes, you should be reading audiobooks. What are you doing?
But I mean, this is probably, as a dad, I think it's probably, for me, it was the best of all of those jobs. Reading to the kids.
Yeah.
Getting them engaged in a story. I mean, for our roles as SAs, we have to do this with our audience. We have to be, I'm not going to say trusted. We have to be understood, because trust grows. We have to be able to communicate. And I think it's even more, I've said this before and I keep saying it. I truly believe it. I think it's very interesting to try and communicate a concept, but to communicate it to someone whose first language isn't English makes it doubly hard. You're adding those challenges in the way. And to me, it's that art of communication, that face-to-face stuff is probably the best bit about this job.
Yeah.
And even within our organization as well. I mean, it's something we've prided ourselves upon. We've kept everything fairly flat. Anyone can talk to anybody here at any time. And we actively encourage it. It's the first place I've come to where everyone said, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" and actually mean it. And that's unheard of.
Yeah. No, you're right. I agree. I don't think there's ever been a time where you can't reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, I need a little help with this," or I have a question for you. And it may sound silly, but they never make you feel like, "Oh, well, what do you don't know what you're talking about."
I've been here 13 years, and there's a reason for that, right? Like,
exactly.
Cybersecurity is you see a lot of people that are, look at their LinkedIn, and every 2 years that they're at a new place. So much opportunity and things moving on. But I believe in the work we're doing and the people here. Like, that's part of what what keeps me is, like you said, the autonomy I've given, the support I'm given, the friendships. It's just a good place to work.
Yeah, I love that. Well, let me ask you this. So if you had a time machine and you were able to go back 15, 20 years, right, before eSentire, what would you tell your younger self? Would you do anything different?
Buy a lot of Google stock? I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Buy Apple stock, Google stock. I buy a bunch of stocks, that's for sure.
Obviously there might be some advice I'd give myself about, things here and there, but no, I'm the path I took is a strange one, but I wouldn't change a thing about it. To be honest, I've enjoyed every minute of it. This ride has been wild. And the business changes so much. Like when I first started, we're nothing like that. Like what we do is different. How we do it is different. The customers we serve is different. Like it's just
totally
so
different.
I like challenges. I don't like sitting around watching the clock. That was the worst part of being a used car salesman, was like when no one, like,
That's true.
February and it's like pouring rain, wet, sleet, snow. You're like, no one's coming to buy a car. I'm just going to sit here all day. So I like being busy. I like being challenged, and I like that there's new stuff all the time. And
I like
that's what keeps me interested.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I got one more question for you. And I know, and I don't know, Andy, if you have more questions, but I want to know. We talked about the SOC analyst, about a lot of stuff doing the platform, and I know things are going to be different next week than they are this week. So I know it's been super difficult. You're super busy. You got so many things going on, but would it be possible to have you come back on 6 months, 9 months from now and say, okay, hey, we talked about this stuff a few months ago, right? Here's where we're at today. Here's some of the new cool stuff coming out, because there's new stuff that you're getting to see and do that to me and Andy, it gets us excited, because when we tell our customers and partners, they're like, nobody's doing that stuff. I mean, I have roadmap calls with our partners, and I just tell them some of the stuff that we are looking at doing and new partnerships and things that we're doing. They're like, first of all, none of our other partners tell us what they're doing, and sharing that information with us, and how you guys are innovating is changing what we're seeing and doing out there. I mean, it's incredible to share that. So would it be possible, and I know it might be really difficult to get you back on, but would it be possible to have you come back on? Because it would be great to share that.
No, and like I said, this stuff is changing so quickly. Like, we're measuring innovation in days and weeks, not months and years, right? And one of the things that maybe you guys, I think you heard in the town hall we did recently, but we brought the labs team into the SOC as well. So labs is a group of researchers, PhD students, engineers. It's a consortium of thinking minds, basically, that we brought together to do prototypes and special work. We've embedded them into the SOC and basically given our SOC analysts access to them. Like, you have an idea, you have a tool, you have a use case, grab with them. We can prototype it. We can do these sprints. We can turn it around. And if it makes sense, boom, let's get it into production. Awesome. So I'm pretty excited about the speed that we're going to be able to innovate over the next coming months. So I'm sure I'll have a lot to talk about.
That would be awesome. That would be exciting. I would love
it. Would be, I think it'd be useful to sort of give, what are the hints, if you can give any hints on what you're currently working on, or what's new that you're touching on. I mean, we had Alexander on, and he spoke about one of the tests, one of the directions of travel that they're exploring, and that's to look at whether LLMs have personalities. Because if I can recognize a personality, I can perhaps then understand which tools they might be using, so I can start to get a hint of the direction of travel. But obviously, bringing eSentire Labs into the SOC now, and charging everyone with just give them something mad to do. Perhaps you're not asking them to go quite mad, but almost mad. But nothing is impossible. What sort of things are being asked for?
Good question.
So we've started a little light, but we're getting a lot of new interesting ideas. And part of it too is not having labs build things for us, but having them train and enable the SOC to be able to build their own tools, giving them a template and environment and so on. But we're looking at things, even helping our customer success team outside of the SOC for customer case sentiment, right? Having AI do a review of each case and give it a sentiment score. Look for, hey, that customer expressed frustration. Did we handle that right? What are the recommendations? Can we do that better? We're starting to do a new model of kind of how we're using the agentic investigation too, that is going to change it and limit the number of tool calls we'll have to do, and kind of it's a supervisor model. Alex may have talked about this a little bit more, but it's going to be pretty interesting what's going to come out of that. I think we're going to see higher efficacy rates and faster times. So there's no limit. We've Andre from our SOC innovation team just recently made like 6 or 7 Atlas actions, which are kind of like AI type automations and things, just simplifying stuff. So every day, and the ideas are coming in new. We had a SOC all hands this morning, and we had a bunch of people asking about, I've got an idea. Who can I work with? So it's all over.
Awesome.
There's some really exciting, interesting stuff coming. Even just the data training we can do, and how we can put things into the portal, right? And how we can show and reflect that and identify things that customers wouldn't be able to see, and other insights. It's cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening, and I think that's helping our analysts stay engaged and interested too.
Exactly. So this is driving that innovation further, and then they're seeing traction from it as well.
And giving them the keys to say, hey, You don't have to just like submit a ticket or a JIRA and wait for an engineer to build it. We're going to give you an access to the labs team, and you can work with them alongside. You can learn about this, and they'll help you, and they'll move roadblocks for you, right? So the aim is at the end, we have a SOC team that is fully AI enabled and able to build tools, understand it, and also, put safeguards in place and watch for the risks as the bad guys start to learn how to leverage attacks against it too.
That's awesome. How cool.
Alexander did hint at that when we had him on fairly early on in the recordings.
Yeah, they've been doing some red teaming work, and it's like I said, I don't want to go into the details because I'm scared of letting the cat out of the bag, but it's pretty interesting what's going on there.
Right? So. No. And we had James on yesterday, and he was talking about the rapid prototyping. Put your teeth in. Rapid prototyping that they're now able to do with the tooling that we've got now, and obviously that plays into your story. Everyone, they've got an idea. Let's see if it will work. Let's see if it's got legs.
Why not? How cool is that? Oof, man.
I mean, we already do this with how we do filtering and attached to work items. Like the analysts are empowered away. That this is the next iteration. It's the next level. Give them an even more powerful tool and see what kind of crazy stuff they can come up with. Right? It's going to be now. We'll also put a governance process in place, so it's not the Wild West out there. Westworld was on our mind earlier, but yeah. So we're there's an approval process and so on. But if it makes sense, let's get it in and let's get it done.
And you can iterate and fail quickly as well. Yep, I mean, it still has to go through the processes and the controls to get into production, but you can iterate quicker.
Yeah, you can do a prototype in 2 weeks and figure out, hey, is this going to fly or not, and then you start moving to production or move on to the next project, right? Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
so really excited about that partnership.
That's very interesting. Yeah,
we're gonna see some cool stuff, and hopefully, I'll have some interesting new advancements to talk about when I come back on.
Right. No, I love that.
Sorry, Heather.
Yep. Sorry. What are you doing? Are you sure?
And you want to join into this one, Heather?
Yeah. Do you want to join in? No, she's shaking her head. No. She doesn't want to be on video. Yeah, she's like, no, she was on our podcast, but she didn't want to be on video. So when we were doing these before YouTube, we weren't on video. But now we're doing video, things like that. She's like, I'm not coming back on. That was the first thing she said. Don't ask me. I'm not coming back on. And she's looking at me like,
wrap it up, John. Wrap it up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Rob, thank you again for doing this with us. It's been amazing. It was so awesome to have you on here and tell us about that stuff. And again, I know you're super busy. I know there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You're running the show, and thank you for taking the time. And we'd love to, and Andy, I think we should do it sooner than later, is book something up within the next 6 to 9 months as quickly as we can and make sure we get on.
Because things are moving faster, and there's certain people we need to get back on again. Andy Fawcett as well, the rest of the team that are working on the innovation stuff.
Obviously, thanks for having me. It was a great discussion. I'm happy to help and contribute and talk about the great stuff we're doing here. I mean, I think we're often maybe someone says we're too Canadian and we don't really brag and be as proud of the work that we're doing as we should be. And we got to get louder about it because it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Well, you do need to get, but I don't think we need to brag about it because the proof is in the pudding, right?
Exactly. Fair enough.
But there's stuff that we're doing that is smart. There's stuff that we're doing that is being developed sensitively for the field that we're in, right?
Better than the other folks out there. Let's be honest. The stuff that we're doing, our competitors, they're not doing that. They're not. Plain and simple. So,
well, they're not. It costs too much to do that. And then the fact is that there is a different experience here. There is an eSentire experience, and it fits a lot of customers very well.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Rob, thank you again. I know it's you got a lot of stuff happening. We don't want to keep you too long, but thank you again for taking the time. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was a great combo.
No, Rob, listen, thank you very much for taking time out of your very hectic schedule. It's always a pleasure to talk to you when you do have a moment to breathe. This has been another episode of the Cyber Culture Cafe series, part of the Cyber Talks podcast, presented by eSentire, the authority in managed detection and response. To learn how eSentire's next-level MDR service can help you strengthen your security program and build cyber resilience, please visit eSentire.com. Rob, thank you very much for taking the time today to talk to us. We look forward to the next episode and having you back on in the fullness of time to listen to the latest developments.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Rob, again.